For A Thief's End is the fourth game in Naughty Dog's smash hit series of Nathan Drake, a sarcastic, witty, handsome treasure hunter. Naughty Dog has taken us to many tropical islands and high frosty mountains in search of El Dorado and other treasures. This time, we're looking at Henry Avery. Now, this entry shows Nathan Drake go on his final adventure with his brother, voiced by Troy Baker, to find master pirate Henry Avery, the pirate who pulled off the biggest heist in the golden age of piracy. This sets up the race for the treasure against the main antagonist, Rafe, and the hired mercenary badass Nadine, who on your first encounter will show her incredible fighting techniques. Do not underestimate her. Nadine's mercenary group, known as Shoreline, is, well, as Nathan would put it, a bunch of idiots blowing up stuff to get stuff. Now, the fighting mechanics are well done here, like the last few games, with a tap square approach and a watch him kick ass approach. But this doesn't feel overdone or boring, as the punches and kicks that Nathan throws actually feel like they are connecting. Shooting is just as well done, with a fire cover based mechanic. Nathan can charge at the enemies firing his guns like Rambo, just by holding the trigger. But this does tend to lead some shocking misses, so watch out for that. But once again, it feels like the bullets do damage. Grabbing a shotgun and watching our enemies fly is always satisfying. Another major part of Uncharted games is the climbing mechanics, being essential to scale ancient ruins and buildings to find your next artifact or objective. This can make or break a game, and thankfully the mechanics here are smooth and well done. The animations of Nathan and Sam are incredibly realistic. Scaling ruins and prisons has never been so much fun. The game also has a collectible system where throughout each level you can come across small treasures or artifacts that you can inspect closely and see the minuscule detail that the art team over at Naughty Dog clearly put time into doing. So well done to them. Even boring artifacts such as Roman plates are fun to find and inspect. There are also some very nice nods to past Naughty Dog games that, if you look hard enough, can be found. Crash Bandicoot, anyone? This game focuses heavily on the action sequences and fighting your enemies, obviously. Otherwise this would just be a puzzle platformer, which I'm sure it would intrigue many, but bore more as well. So action is a very big part of the game. However, what Naughty Dog have done, which personally I like, is in each situation you find yourself coming across enemies, there is an option to be stealthy. You'll find tall grass and cover for Nathan and his allies, and if enemies get too close, snap! Nathan pulls them in and renders them dead or unconscious. Enemies also have a line of sight which can be broken and send Nathan into hiding once again. This line of sight mechanic works very well as it allows the more stealthy gamers extra chances if they screw up, but both options are just as fun. However, with the stealth mechanics comes one of the game's main downfalls. The game, like The Last of Us, features a companion through most of the game. And when in stealth mode, you may be hiding in the grass, ready to pounce on an enemy, when, let's say, Sam will dart in the open, basically to tell the guy, "Here we are, come kill us!" Luckily though, Naughty Dog made sure enemies don't react or see the companions, but even so, it will occasionally break immersion. But don't get me wrong, this does not render the game terrible. The storyline is around 12 to 14 hours, maybe longer or shorter depending on the difficulty, or if you are a speedrunner. The puzzles are simple and will rarely take you longer than 30 minutes to complete, which is good as I like to feel smart and not get completely angry over it. The puzzles are varied and few throughout the game, so they never get boring. The story is well thought and much longer than the previous titles. Thankfully, Naughty Dog not only put time to make a long story, but make a good long story. Characters are well acted. Yes, I did say act. As the majority of characters are motion captured by the actors themselves. Nolan North and Troy Baker outdo themselves as their performances were outstanding, really adding depth to the story. I really cared about Nathan and Sam, and when it was over, it was bittersweet. The connection between each character is varied, each with a different response to certain situations. The graphics are stunning, really showing the power of the PS4 and the Xbox One. Once again, the art team deserve a round of applause. Well, Naughty Dog definitely does. This time you're going to be in the snowy cliffs of Scotland and the human animal infested jungles of Madagascar, and a few other locations that I won't spoil for you. In the story there are a few twists and turns, and the pacing feels perfect. Going from scenery to scenery does feel spectacular. The only downside I feel of the story though was the antagonist's motives. Even though Rafe was a very well made character, his motives felt way too cliche for the game. Having cash from a corporate father but wanted fame to separate his life from his father's just felt overdone. But still a great character nonetheless. The game does include a multiplayer which, like all multiplayer games, include a progression system. Also, you are able to buy packs with in-game coins to customize the look of your multiple different characters, or, you know, just use microtransactions. I hate microtransactions. The multiplayer consists of the same good shooting that the campaign does, but doesn't really bring anything new to the multiplayer market. But it is still fun to play, so don't miss out on it. One of my favourite additions to the game is the addition of points that you can collect. Now these points are given to you throughout as you progress through the game, and these points allow you to unlock different skins for characters and even different situations. I mean, you get different sound effects for the game. Sometimes you get bullet mode, which is amazing to fire and to go in slow motion. It's always fun to replay the game in these different situations with the slow-mo. Overall, Uncharted 4 A Thief's End is a great game with amazing visuals and a superb acting and a decent multiplayer. This really does show the power of the consoles and even the PC. With great mechanics, Naughty Dog have made a fantastic game with only a few companion problems and a cliche villain at best. The game does great and deserves a 10 out of 10 and a welcome to my brotherhood. And that is it for the review today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry that my voice sounds a little bit off. I have had a bit of a cold. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope I gave you some information on whether you want to buy the game or not. Like if you think this video is worthy. Subscribe if you think I'm worthy. And then once again, I will see you guys on the next target.
Bear my cross and discover the riches of power. If only I could turn